Welcome to the Naked Forex webinar, guys. And most of you, I recognize a lot of names here. Some people may be new. I'd like to talk about one of the new trade setups I've been talking about recently, which is the First Touch trade. And so some of you have the First Touch book. If you don't have the First Touch book, you can just email me and I'm happy to send it to you. Here's my email. It's walter@fxjake.com, and just put, First Touch book and I'll send it to you. Harley says all the books are good. Okay, cool. Thanks, Harley. And then there's the regular, the trading book I think comes out next week. If you don't have Kindle, the book called Naked Forex comes out next week if you're interested in these sorts of setups. We have that stuff in that book. That comes out on March 6th in most places around the world. Thanks, Boyke. I'm glad that you like the book. Boyke says he agrees. Okay, so guess what, guys? This is a first touch trade, or it's a potential first touch trade, I should say. This right here is what I'm looking for in this type of setup. I've got a touch right here, and the market fell. I've got another touch here, the market fell. Another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. You can sort of see a theme here. Another one, and then with the first touch trade, I get this brilliant explosion through the zone. Absolutely rips through it. And that's sort of this candle right here. This candle right here. Boom. See that big candle? That is our breakout candle. So it's totally gone beyond the zone after touching it and falling all of these many times. Hey, look, we have a big shadow over here. So there's another one too, another setup right there. That's a bearish big shadow right there, and the market fell off of that one. Now, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to wait for the market to get to this spot right here. And that is where I'm going to buy it. This is the euro pound, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Hey, Sonny. Whoa, looks like we may go there right now. Now, I'm not just going to, just as soon as the market touches this box, buy, right? What I'm going to do is wait for the market to get into this level here, and then print a nice, big, giant, bullish candle. That's really the ideal. Did some news come out or something? I have to ask because I don't really pay attention to fundamental news, fundamental analysis. I just look at the chart. But it's just fallen like 30 pips while we've been talking here. Oh, Bernanke's testifying now. Awesome. Thanks, Harley. That's so funny. Bad U.S. news. Okay. Bernanke is testifying. Okay, so cool. So this is going to be the catalyst. It's quite likely that we're going to see a bounce here, in my opinion. And the reason I think that is because, again, if we back it up here, let's go to the 4-hour chart so you can see. If we back it up here, we've seen historically this level here, which is the 84 level. I know it says 8403 on my chart, but really, it's 84, right? We all know it's 84. 84 even. Nice round number and all that. So this is where I'm waiting for the bounce right here. So what is the bounce going to look like? It's probably going to be a nice big bearish bullish candle. Boyke says, do you ever look at pivot points versus support and resistance? I used to look at them. Yeah, I used to look at them, Boyke, but I don't really, not so much anymore. Now I just look for the places where historically price reverses. Sometimes you'll notice a pivot point does line up with a support and resistance zone. And right here, I don't know if this is the case. They change every day, right? So they're calculated every day. So I guess it would depend on the day if the pivot point lined up with the historical zone. Yeah. Harley says your levels really help clarify my trading. That's awesome. Let me ask you guys, what would you guys be for you as traders, what would be something that you're looking forward to or that you want out of these webinars? Harley says it really cleared your head. Thank you for saying that, Harley. It's really nice to know that when it's really nice to know that when I'm getting up at 2 in the morning, it's helping someone out. I guess this is one way of looking at it. Simplicity in my trading, truth is an eye-opener. Boyke says, why did you pick this pair? The only reason I really picked this pair is because it's a nice example of the trade setup we've been talking about lately, which was the first touch trade. It's just a brilliant example of that, of a first touch trade. That's it. What I would like to know from you folks is, what are you after here? Identifying which key levels are most significant, as you can draw a myriad of key levels. Okay, thanks 1.4718. Guillerme is saying, for me it would be an easier way of trading too many indicators. Yeah, I'm with you. Harley says, with the markets lately, this method doesn't bog me down. Yeah, hey, I'm with you. I'm totally with you on this one. I know what it's like to be bogged down, you know. Aviator says, something I can use in my own trading, even if not exactly, I can pick up stuff. Harley says, looks good too on chart. So would you guys be interested in, let me put it this way. Would you be interested in, if we had to choose A, B, or C, A being new trading systems, or would you be interested in B, live trade setups, or would you be interested in analysis of pairs, like up to date, up to minute analysis, current analysis of pairs, from a technical point of view, of course, a naked point of view, naked trader's point of view. So, would you be interested in A, B, or C? Gamster says, is it too much to ask for all? Bit of each. Right. A, ABC, ABC, B, B, ABC, BC, A. You guys are making me laugh. This is too funny. In order. Okay. So, Boyke wants B, C, and an A. Okay. Alright, that's helpful. Hey, Minaj. Minaj is here. Paralysis by analysis. Limino says new trading system. Hi, Minaj. So we're taking a poll right now if people want A, B, or C. New trading systems, live trade setup, or current analysis of pairs. It looks like B is and C tend to be the winner. B and C, or all. Okay. Have fun on the school run, Manoj. Surfing lessons once a month, says Boyke. The room's fairly empty today for some reason. Yeah, I know. There's only 34 people. What would you enjoy giving the most? Do you trade inside candles, says Gamster? Not really. Not so much. No. I tested them and they couldn't work. They didn't work for me. Maybe maybe I need to come up with a better method. I trade about 30 different patterns. Aviator. Alright, so what's an inside candle? I'll show you an inside candle. It's a good question. This is an inside candle right here. Let's zoom in. So on this first touch trade, let me go to the 1 hour. If we get a nice big long wick right here on this candle, this may be the This may be the buy signal right here, just this candle right here. So I'll keep an eye on this trade after the webinar because it's a nice potential trade right here. If this candle closes all the way up inside this candle, then it's definitely a nice setup. But what may happen is it may come down here, touch, and then move a little bit higher, then come back down, touch it again, and even maybe 3 times before it, bounces and really runs up. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. Let's look at another one that we just had the other day on the daily chart. This was too bad we weren't here a couple days ago because on Monday we had the Canadian dollar. Where is it? Right here. Everyone probably, if you've been here before, you probably recognize this one right here. This is our kangaroo tail special. And if you don't have the kangaroo tail book, you can just email me and I'll send you the kangaroo tail book. Right here. Boom. So it's a nice kangaroo tail. Why? Because the open and the close are inside of the previous candle's range. The next candle traded lower than the low of the kangaroo tail. And where's the obvious profit target here? Jez, where would you say is Jez, where would you put your profit target on this one? I know Jez. Jez and I have been emailing quite a bit. Right here. The first obvious profit target for me was these lows right here, and right here. And then, yeah, exactly. 99.39 says Austin, 99.40 for starters. Yep. Yeah, right around this level right here, right around 99. Just about here, 99.30, right around there is where I would say is a fair target. Just above where we've seen these touches in the past. And then obviously after that, we let to see if we can let it run. And it looks like it wants to go. Let's back it up and see if we can find another possible place for profit target. One could be right down here. See where all these candles are kind of hanging out down here? That's another possible target right there. Also, see these candles right here, how they touched right there? That's another one, which I think is where it is right now. Yeah. See how it's kind of having a little bit of difficulty getting through this level? It's because we have these candles right here, in my mind. That's how, as a naked trader, that's how I view it. I don't think that this candle is looking to its left and saying, or it's right, because it's left for me, right for the candle, and saying, uh-oh, I can't go any further than these candles. But that's kind of what the markets decided, right? The markets decided that's a pretty key point there because it bounced pretty hard and went up rather than that. So that's where we're stuck right now at this stage. And the next one may be all the way down here at 97.80. That's another possible target. So at this stage, if I were in this kangaroo tail trade, if I were a naked trader trading this kangaroo tail trade, I wouldn't want this to turn into a loser at this stage. It's already gone to 2 possible profit targets. I'd want to move my stop to break even. So I would be in about 80 pips of profit. And if it came back, I would make nothing and I would lose nothing. Or I could put it at plus 5 pips. So I make 5 or 6 pips or 10 pips, something like that. Yeah. Minaj says there's a guy in Australia who says these kangaroo tails just after an inside candle are especially potent. That's really interesting. I know you don't trade them, but the kangaroo tail rejected the daily 200 EMA, which has been recent. Okay. The 200 EMA. Are you talking about the CAD, Minaj? Boyke says, what's your opinion of calling support resistance as supply and demand? I mean, that's the same thing, right? For me, I call support and resistance zones the places where the chart turns around. It's sort of where the U-turns are on the chart. And it's really easy to see on the line chart. So if I want to find out where all the U-turns are on the chart, I can just go to my line chart and they show up rather. I mean, look at this. Tell me that this level here is not a reversal zone. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've got all these over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, all these bends right here. So that's a definite profit target for our Canadian dollar kangaroo tail on the daily chart. The 200 EMA. Okay, let's put an indicator on here. I kind of feel dirty doing it, but I will. Let's see. 200 E. This is the right one, right? Exponential. After a while, you don't know how to use indicators. I just say, what's going? Oh, I see what Minaj is talking about. Wow, look at that. So the 200 EMA is where our kangaroo tail printed. Isn't that interesting? Not only has price reversed off this level here, but it also was an EMA and it fell off of there. Well, that's really cool. Thanks for showing us that, Minaj. That's cool. I wonder if we have any other. Oh, and it bounced right here as well. I wonder if we have any other nice looking. There's another kangaroo tail there. That one doesn't have a whole lot of room, but it bounced off it. That's pretty cool. Don't see any other really nice ones immediately. Let's see. On the 200, there's another bounce right there. This big shadow came really close right here. That's interesting. Walter falling in love with indicators. No, let's delete it. We don't want to do that. Delete it. That's funny. And now it's resistance. Yeah. I mean, people use indicators too. I tried a trading system where I use moving average as sort of like support and resistance. So you can do that too. I mean, that's cool. Why not 200? Exactly. Okay, so all right. So it looks like people wanted B and C on our poll, and B and C were live trades and what was the other thing? Live trades and current analysis of pairs. Okay, so what are the other? So we've got one live trade that I'm interested in right now, which is obviously not happening right now, but I have this. I could trade it on the 4-hour chart too. This is the Euro Pound 4-hour chart. So let's say I wanted to sleep tonight. If I wanted to sleep tonight, I could just wake up in the morning and see what do we got here on the 4-hour chart. So we have a nice bullish, reversal candle here. Because if we do, I'll take it. If not, I'll just let it ride. It could definitely push right through here, but there's a really strong chance that there's going to be some serious support right about where it is right now. So that's B, live trade setup. That's a live trade setup right now. Again, I wouldn't just take it right now. I'd wait for my nice big bullish candle off this level. I need to have both. I need to see price go to a zone and see my trigger candle. The other thing we want to look at is what pairs would you like to look at? Anyone? Phelan, Ty, any of the new people, Greg, Bill, do you have any pairs you'd like to look at while we're here? I'll show you another really cool looking one. This is another first touch on the daily Aussie Norwegian krone. This is another example of the first touch trade. Again, if you don't have the first touch trade, you can always email me, walter@fxjake.com, and I'll send you the first touch trade book. Right here you see we have some resistance, 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 resistance. Now, the interesting thing over here is, even though we did have some resistance here, look at how many candles touch that zone in quick succession. One of my principles of naked trading is the more touches on a zone in quick succession, the more likely the market is to break through that zone. And that's what happened here. We got a nice big explosion through the zone, and then the market traded higher, came out, it printed a kangaroo tail right here, and then it fell. Ever since that kangaroo tail, it's been trading lower, and now it's come down and touched this zone here at 5.9538, and it printed a nice bullish candle there. This is the kind of thing I'm looking for on the Euro Pound 1-hour chart or the Euro Pound 4-hour chart. I'm looking for this type of setup right here. This is the kind of thing I would love to see right here. Just as this chart, I mean, obviously I want to see this market clear the high of this candle here. So it's got to go up to 6.03 or 6.04 or so. That would be good to see, because that would tell me if it goes to 6.04 even, now it's cleared the high of this bullish candle and it looks like it's on its way back up. my first target would of course be this area here, 6.1240, and then my next target would be these highs up here, or just below them, at 6.2530. So that's how I'd trade the Aussie Norwegian krone if anyone has a broker that offers that pair. Yeah, they'll need to find a very nice broker. And the other thing is that even though it looks like this is a crazy trade, it's 794 pips away from the entry, actually that's like 79 pips on a normal pair, right? Because these exotic pairs like the Mexican peso and these Nordics, you're looking at, the spread is like 70 pips, or 70 pips. So when you see 790 pips, it's like 79 pips on a normal pair. Yeah. Okay, so we've got some other ones to look at here. FX Pips wants to check out the Euro CAD. Let's do that. Where's the Euro CAD? Whoa, look at that. That's pretty cool. Wow, that's awesome. Euro CAD is on fire. Okay, so does everyone see what FX Pips is looking at? I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that you're looking at this FX Pips. We've got a zone right here where we have these touches here and here, and that's where our market is right here. So we might see a bounce here. Yes, FX Pips is thinking along the same line. Now, could the market just absolutely blow through this level here and keep falling? Yes, absolutely. But because we've seen some reversals here, there's no reason why I might not want to watch it. And, maybe the daily isn't going to show up, over, today or tomorrow, but maybe the 4 hour gives me something in the next 12 to 24 hours. Maybe the 4 hour chart gives me a nice buy signal. So that's a possibility, FX Pips. Yeah, so that's a good one. I'm glad you pointed that one out. Soliter says, how long do you wait for confirmation of the support and resistance levels to take a trade? It's not really, to me, Soliter, it's not really the time. It's more what it looks like. To answer your question, which is basically, what do you wait for confirmation on support resistance? I wait for the confirmation of a bounce, basically. So, for example, if we go to our Canadian dollar kangaroo tail here, what I wanted to see here is I wanted to see the market push through the low of the kangaroo tail. That's what I wanted to see. If the market pushes through the low of the kangaroo tail, then I know that's confirmation that this is a top here and that the market does want to trade lower. And if I, on a first touch trade, which is like the Aussie Norwegian kroner, which we were just looking at here, the Aussie Norwegian kroner, see this bullish candle right here? It's on a nice support and resistance zone, right? I've got resistance, possible support here. So my confirmation for this big bullish candle here is the market trading higher than my bullish candle. So my buy stop, so I'm not in the trade now, my buy stop needs to go right there, right? Just above the high there. If it does trade higher than that bullish candle, then I'd say, okay, maybe the market's ready to trade higher. Why not like it during the Asian session? Well, first of all, Boyke, I don't like to see my trade triggered during the Asian session because you're sleeping. And that's no fun, right? For you to get up. We don't want you to get up in the middle of the night to trade. Even though we can do that as Forex traders, we don't have to do that. It's not necessary, right? The reason is because the real volume comes in during the Europe and New York session. Asia tends to have the Asian drift, I call it, which is the wrong move. It's the sort of the slight move in the wrong direction. Only 25% of the volume or so happens during Asia. So let's look at our Canadian dollar as an example. I hope this is a good example. I'm not sure that it is, but I think this will illustrate this idea. So here's my daily kangaroo tail right here. I'm going to drop down to the 1 hour charts and see what the market did during this 1 hour kangaroo tail here. So this is the 27th. So our kangaroo tail goes from this candle here all the way to this candle here. Okay. And then during the Asian session, all right. So during the Asian session, it did fall. Okay, great. Then it came back up and it spiked up during the early well, actually this is going to be during the New York session, really. Spiked up, and then it started falling, right. Okay, so that wasn't a very good example. It doesn't happen every time, but generally speaking what happens is during the Asian session you'll get a few candles in the wrong direction. I don't trade the Scandies a lot, Harley. Not really. I've just been getting into them lately. Just because I just want more trades. I just want more pairs to trade. Yeah. So solar, to answer your question, what I want to see on my chart is basically three things. When price hits the support and resistance level, I want to see my trigger candle. That could be a kangaroo tail. That could just be a bullish candle or a bearish candle. But usually I'd like to see it be a specific trade setup, like a big shadow or a kangaroo tail, right? And then what I want to see is I want to see the market confirm that by going beyond that candle. And in the case of a kangaroo tail here on our loonie pair, that would just be trading lower than the kangaroo tail. Really, that's all I really want to see is the market trade lower than the kangaroo tail. That's it, really, right? And then and the other thing that's nice, it's really nice if the market goes slightly in the wrong direction during the Asian session. Not too much, just slightly. Yeah. And then we had some other requests here for the, hopefully that answers your question. We have some other requests for the pound yen. Pound yen is whoa, pound yen's doing some interesting things. The pound yen put a bearish candle to open up the week, but it's now, it looks like, this is what I think about the pound yen. Let me back it up. I think that the pound yen is ready for some resistance. You'll notice that we did have a spike that touched the same level. Okay, this is a 128.90 level, or maybe even we can call it 129 even. If we want to be really, if we want to be Mr. Round Number, we can do that, right? We've got some support here, some support back here, some support there. It's not, this zone is not as clean as this zone down here. This zone down here I tend to think is a little bit better, which is the 126 level. It's a little bit nicer because we've got some cleaner touches here. We've got a near miss here, a touch here, nice touch there, several nice touches here before it fell, a really nice touch over here. And it did have some, you know, a little bit of teething difficulties, growing pains getting through it, but it did in fact blow through it there. And now we're at the next one. So to answer your question about the pound yen aviator, I would say right now on the pound yen, I'd be looking for a possible sell opportunity. That's what I would be looking for. FX Pips wants to see Euro CAD. We did look at the Euro CAD, right? Yeah. The Euro Yen 4 hour. Okay. Cool. Let's look at the Euro Yen 4 hour. Very similar to the pound yen here. On our 4 hour chart, we've got a couple of bearish big shadow candles recently, actually. The problem is they're not up here. So on the Euro Yen 4 hour chart, I'd really like to see a nice bearish candle right about here at 109.39. That's where I've got my zone drawn here. And that's where I think, you know, that's a great opportunity to sell there, in my opinion. Yeah. We do have a bearish candle here, a bearish candle here. It looks like to me, if I had to guess, it looks like to me it's going to come down here to 107.70 and perhaps bounce and then go up to 109 again. If I had to guess, I'd say that's probably what's going to happen. It's sort of caught between these two. Yep. Dollar yen, says Boyke. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, dollar yen, dollar yen. Dollar yen's finally getting exciting again. So we had on the dollar yen, let's back it up. For those of you that have been following the Naked webinars, we've basically had, on this pair, we've basically had a long time of consolidation, and it's depending on how you want to draw it, it's this box right here. So this consolidation has been since July, basically, of last year. We've had a couple of near misses. We've had a couple of false breakouts. But what I would like to see on this pair is I would like to see the market come back down and touch the edge of this box right here, which is right around the 78.30 level. That would be, to me, that, and look, notice that, was this a tsunami kangaroo, or is this a tsunami spike right here? It must have been March. Yeah. That's where, that was where the market held during the tsunami as well. That's a pretty critical spot. I would, if I were Boyke and I wanted to trade this pair, I would want to see the market, eventually, you know, this may be a month away, or it could be next week. I'd like to see the market fall down here, print a bullish candle, and then I'd buy it again. That's what I would do on the dollar yen. The other pair we had was the Euro Swiss. The Euro Swiss printed a belt last week, which is indicated by this arrow on the chart right there. And that was a great selling opportunity. That's a bearish belt. It did trigger, and it traded over the course of the week. It traded about, is that right? 26 pips? Right. Okay, 26 pips. Yeah. Yeah, so it fell 26 pips. Thank you very much, Euro Swiss. Right. Okay, so that fell right there, and you could either pick up a nickel or trade the Euro Swiss. It depends on what what's more fun for you. You can go searching for pennies searching for pennies outside, or you can trade the Euro Swiss. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, that was the Euro Swiss. But having said that, let's be fair. The trade-off was you had 35 pips of risk on this pair. So the fact that it went, that far, it still would have made you about 80% of what you risked. So there you go. But right now, so what would you do on the Euro Swiss right now? These weird Swiss pairs, they're only just starting to get interesting to me. Like the Swiss yen is interesting to me. But the Euro Swiss is not so interesting to me. If I were trading the Euro Swiss, honestly, the best thing to do would be this. I would draw a box, and I would just trade it off the edges of the box, and I would trade like the 1 hour chart. If I had to trade the Euro Swiss right now, that's what I would do. I would just trade off the edge, maybe the 4 hour chart. I would wait for the market to hit the edge of this box here. And maybe I draw it like right here, and maybe I draw it, so maybe my zones are something like this. So I have, let's just draw them. Let's just get them in here. Where are my zones down here? Probably right here to capture support, resistance, and then down here. Yeah, and so that's what I would do. If I were trading the Euro Swiss, I would just, and whenever I get a consolidation on the daily like this, the best thing to do is just drop it down, check it out on the lower time frame, right? Wait for the market to, and watch out for the middle, because the middle is where it's going to get choppy. There's almost always a zone in the middle of the box as well. See how we've got touches. Well, let's just look at the line chart. The line chart will show us our zone. Yeah. So the line chart shows us that we've got a zone almost at the midpoint, right around here, around this area. So that's how I would trade that one. Ganser said, how do you trade multiple trades on correlated pairs that look alike? I just break them up. So if I run a Pearson product moment correlation, for those of you that are really number nerds like me, if you like statistics, you run one of those and you say, ooh, the Swiss yen, the CAD yen, and the Euro yen. For example, last week we had trades on the Swiss yen, the CAD yen, and the Euro yen. And so I just divide it up and go, okay, instead of taking 3 times the risk here, I'll just divide it up, and I have, let's say I risk 3% of my trades. Instead of risking 9% on those trades, I just risk 3% on those trades. Or if I'm feeling really aggressive at 6% on those trades, I risk 2% on each of those yen pairs. That's how I do that one. The Euro-Swiss waves are much too low for surfing, I agree. It's a bad situation. What's the other pairs we wanted? Who else wanted to see? Euro-Swiss. We got the Euro-Yen, the Dollar-Yen, the Pound. Did we look at the Euro-CAD? Yeah, we looked at the Euro-CAD. Any other pairs you want to look at? Let's take a look at our live setup on the Pound. Woo. Doesn't look good, right? We don't have that bullish candle yet. I'm gonna hold out though. I'm gonna hold out hope. Yeah, it may happen tomorrow. It may come down here, bounce, come up here, bounce again, and then give us a go. Maybe 24 hours from now we get the signal, right? South African Rand. Boy, he loves to look at the South African Rand. Do I have it on here? I don't. Okay, so I'm going to open up a new chart. What about the Euro on the 4 hour? Yeah, let's look at the Euro, because the Euro did some interesting things, actually, to start the week off. Where is the Euro? There it is. Whoa. Wow. I wonder if what's the Euro Yen doing? Sorry, I'm just going to quickly check. Right. So the Euro Yen. Okay. Where's the Euro? Here it is. Okay. So, alright. Now, I really think that we have a great opportunity to... There was a gap in the market, right? The market jumped. Was it last week or... Yes, it was. Here it is right here. Does everyone see this? See this little hole right here? It's going to get back down there. So, we may have a nice opportunity to sell the Euro. Oh, you wanted to look at the 4 hour chart, Mish. That's okay. Let's do that. 4 hour. Okay, so the gap in the market was from the close on the 17th of February, and then the open was over here on the 20th of February. So it's this move from here to here. The market never closed that gap. It usually happens within a day, but it didn't happen all last week. So the market's eventually going to get down here. Yeah. Okay. So I would say that, I would say that, yeah, it's got a great, it looks like it wants to fall. I think Bernanke may be have something to do with currency. I hear that he's talking right now. Yeah. So Bernanke's helping out our closing the gap. Thank you, Mr. Bernanke, for closing the Euro gap. It looks like he's going to do that soon. Yeah. So if I were trading, look what we've got here to be. There's a missed pivot down there. Wow. Yeah. So this gap in the market, I think the market is going to get there. However, we do have to contend with this level right here, the 32.90 right there, and what else? So, hindsight is great and that's wonderful and everything. The market came up here and did a bit of a double top. I don't know that would be a zone on my chart. I think that my chart may have had one here on this 4 hour chart, or maybe a better one would be right here around 34.50. Let's see. So that's close, but it did go a little bit higher than 34.50. So, yeah. So if I were looking at the Euro 4 hour chart, I would say I think the Euro is going to go down here. It's going to have some support there. And then I think it's eventually going to probably find its way down to that hole in the market where it gaps. And then obviously after that, we've got this one down here. Now, if I'm looking at from a daily chart perspective, what I may end up getting here is a nice bearish big shadow on this. And look, we have had some reversals here, folks. Look at this. Look at that bounce right there. So that's support on this level. This is the 34.50 level, right where it turned around here. So that's a pretty good spot. 34.50. 34.50 is a nice zone, and the reason why I've got support I've got resistance, I've got support, and I've got resistance. And I think these candles may also have touched. Let me go to the candle and see. Yeah, they did too. See, they touched it too. So there you go. What we ended up getting is a nice bit bullish big shadow here on the daily chart, and that may be an opportunity to sell it. I don't see how anyone can look at this chart and say that it's in an uptrend. Look at this. If you're a trend line fanatic, you'd be looking at this going, wow, I'm getting excited. Now, as a naked trader, I wait for my bar confirmation. So if I'm trading the daily chart, I have to wait for this candle to close. If I'm trading the 4-hour chart, I have to wait for, I don't know what I have to wait for. This would be kind of like a moolah top. So, wow, it's totally falling. What's happening to our euro pound setup? It's just like totally in the toilet. It's not even likely right now, is it? It's already gone through our zone. That's okay. These are beer bellies, right? These zones are beer bellies, as in they're soft, squishy areas. It's not just a specific price point. I still contend that we may see a bullish candle off of this level in the next, say, 3 days. I still believe that's a possible scenario, and I will be watching it because that is a great zone. Doesn't have to turn around here, but it certainly could. Now, great trade euro pound, Harley says. Yeah. Obviously, right now there are no bullish candles on the chart, but when we do get a bullish candle on the chart, we will have in my opinion, we'll have a great opportunity to maybe it'll be the 4-hour chart. Maybe we get a nice long engulfing candle tomorrow or something. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Gamster says time of day session. What do you mean? What do you mean, Gamster? Question above. Oh, when you trade 4-hour charts, what time of day do you normally execute trades? Oh, right. Well, if I see a 4-hour chart that's like a 4-hour trade setup during the Asian session, then I'll usually want to see it triggered during the European session or the New York session, right? So, yeah, I try and avoid trading the Asian session. I think the Asian session is really good if you do a sort of a price reverts to the mean type trading situation. If you're one of those traders that likes to trade from the extremities back to some sort of average, like a Bollinger Band or something like that, if you like that sort of stuff, the Asian session is great for that. But if you like breakouts and things like that, it's probably better to trade. It's probably better to trade the Europe and New York session. Well, that's all we have for today. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Harley. Yep. Thank you very much. Boyke, email me. I'll email you my answer. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Take care, everyone. Bye.